Hello guys, I'm Marie and I'm here today with this big box, and I just love boxes. It must be the cat in me. So let's jump straight to it. This video is kind of like a collaboration with Pilot Nordic, who is also sponsoring this video, so thank you. And if you're not familiar with Pilot, they are the company that are making these color in a mechanical pencils with colored lead that I've been using a lot lately for my sketches, and I really like them. And these are not sponsored, by the way. I bought these myself long before Pilot Nordic even reached out to me. So yeah, they sent me this box of goodies to try out and use in a video. Even if this is a sponsored video, all I say will still be my own and honest opinions. As usual, what they also sent me in this box, besides a bunch of their products, is a challenge. So they will be challenging me to do something with the supplies in the box, and I have no idea what it is yet. You will know, of course, because you can read the video title in the future. But I don't, and I'm super curious, so let's open this box and find out what they want me to do. Yeah, I took a little sneak peek before, I couldn't help myself, but I haven't looked through the stuff yet. We have a cute little gift box and a bunch of delicious pens wrapped with curly strings, so pretty. And a lot of plastic marshmallows. It seems like there is another box in the bottom, so I will unbox it all and we will see what it is. So I have now unboxed all the things, and they have sent me a bunch of marker pens in different sizes and colors and in gold and silver, and they also sent me these things. And when I was unwrapping them from the plastic, I first thought it was like a plastic box or a container or something, but then I saw that they have actually sent me this picture frame or photo frame, but it is just the back piece with glass on it. And also they sent me this extra piece of glass, and I was like, what am I gonna do with these things? Then I read this little note with a challenge, and what they are challenging me to do here is to draw on glass, which is quite obvious now when I see all these things together. Oh, this is such a fun challenge. I wasn't expecting this at all. I've never painted on glass before, so this will be very challenging. And I'm gonna unpack all these pens now and try them on this piece of test glass to see how they work. But before we start, I just want to show you the pens I will work with real quick. All the markers are permanent. Marker 100 with a bullet nib and the marker 400 with a chisel nib. These are a brand new product that is rich in colors, and you can leave the cap off for 24 hours without the pen drying, so that is pretty cool. Super color pens in gold, silver and white, comes in a bunch of different sizes. These are opaque, so they should look great on darker paper. I am sure these are perfect for crafts and scrapbooking if you're into that. These are the super color markers, which are alcohol-based pens with quick drying ink. Also comes in a bunch of different sizes, as you can see here, both very thin, fine liner looking, and also with larger nibs. So I tried out the markers on the test piece of glass, and I was surprised on how well the pens actually worked on the smooth surface. And even if they dried quite fast, I still had to watch out so I wouldn't put my hand in the ink. It didn't really smudge, but it was still a bit sticky afterwards before it had fully dried. I guess it dries a little differently on glass than on paper. Then I cleaned the glass I would use for the painting, and I was ready to go. I made a sketch of this girl with twig antlers and butterflies and stuff, but since the glass plate is a little larger than the paper that I first sketched on, I scanned it to my computer, made it bigger in Photoshop, and then I printed it in two pieces that I taped together and put it under the glass and traced it with the markers. I tried using negative space in her hair in shapes of butterflies just to try out different techniques and add interesting elements, and my first sketch was actually a bit more autumn inspired with mushrooms and such, but since I am really looking forward to the spring season, I added some butterflies and flowers instead. I wanted to make this drawing very bright and colorful, but since the only colors I had to work with was green, blue and red, and black, gold and silver too, of course, but those aren't really colors. So I took a Q-tip and a little bit of nail polish remover and mixed the blue and red together on a piece of plastic, which made this purple color that I applied with a Q-tip on the glass, making some flowers just to get an extra splash of colors in there. I don't know if this was allowed or not in the challenge, but it just said that the only pens that I could use are the Pilot ones, not that I couldn't use any other materials. I used the finer black super color marker for a bit of outlining and details. It worked great on its own, but it was a little tricky drawing on top of the other colors. Even if the colors had dried overnight, they kind of dissolved each other and it ended up with the pen nib just dragging around the colors underneath. And all the colors were a bit difficult to layer on the glass actually, but then you could also smudge them around a little and create a bit of a blending. For the twigs behind her ears, I used the gold super color pen, and I really liked the gold and silver pens. They looked really pretty on the glass, but they looked even more beautiful on paper. They smelled quite bad though, much more than the other pens, but if you would ever need a good gold or silver pen that actually looks like metal, I would honestly recommend these. I will definitely use them more. It was a tiny bit tricky filming this video since the light I have on my drawing table was reflecting in the glass. You can see parts of the reflection in the upper corner. I was also thinking of filming this from more different angles to make it more interesting, but then the whole room was reflecting in the glass. But I think it turned out quite well anyway after adjusting the lamp and tripod a little. So if you'd like to check out Pilot Nordic yourself, I will leave a link in the info box below to their Instagram account. They post all kinds of inspiring pictures and artwork and information about their product. They also have a new giveaway every Tuesday, giving away their awesome products. And why they're called Pilot Nordic and not just Pilot in this case is that I've been contacted by the part of the company representing the Nordic countries here in Europe. So that is why they are called Pilot Nordic, but their Instagram account is in English. We also talked about making more than just this challenge, so let me know if you like this one and want to see them challenge me again. So yeah, let's talk a little about this challenge. It wasn't easy, but I had a lot of fun experimenting with the supplies. It is quite unforgiving materials to work with though, since when you had once laid down one color or drawn a line, you couldn't really move it afterwards. I tried using some acetone to erase some lines, which worked okay kind of, but it smudged a lot, so I tried to avoid that. So there are some things I could have done differently, but it is after all the first time I do this, so it always takes a bit of practicing before you get a hang of it. And if I would ever paint on glass again, I would know more about what to do and not to do. It was a challenging and interesting experience since the markers does not behave the same way on glass as on paper. On the glass they turn out a little streaky, which isn't that strange really since the ink has nowhere to go like on paper. I tried the markers on paper too and they turn out very nice and even looking, but I do like the look of the green, blue and red markers on the glass since they are more transparent and makes it look like real stained glass. What I also liked about the 100 and the 400 pens are that they didn't smell that bad, not worse than regular markers. At the end I used the finest super color marker to add finer details to the hair and the twigs and to the plants coming up around her. These were the easiest pens to work with, I think, and I liked that the nibs on the super fine blue and red markers were a bit more flexible. I do like flexible pen nibs. I also like the mix of the more solid full covering metallic pens and the more transparent colored markers. All the colored markers turned out very vibrant. I wasn't really sure when to stop drawing. It felt like I could continue adding more things, but I didn't want to overwork it. It was a tough challenge since I had to use materials in a way I'm not used to at all, but I truly had a lot of fun with this and I am quite pleased with how it turned out at the end, especially after it's framed. It looks so pretty. I like the girl and her twig antlers and I hope you like it too. Leave a like in a comment if you did and let me know if you want to see more challenges like this one. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers. We are so close now. I also have a new vlog channel, so check that out. I will leave a link to it here somewhere. Thanks Pilot Nordic for challenging me and thank you guys for watching. Keep drawing my happy cats. Bye!